Well, here we are again. Today is Friday, May 11th, 2007. I haven't vlogged in a while, and the last vlog I did was a vlog to tell you that I was going to vlog about the stuff that happened since the last vlog. So, this vlog is going to try to catch you up on the things that I didn't tell you in the last vlog, and that I should have told you in the previous vlog, but didn't tell you in that vlog, so this vlog should cover what that vlog doesn't. Follow that? One of the main reasons I haven't vlogged in a while is because there hasn't been a solid base in the crew. The crew for a while was just up in the air. Didn't know who was doing what, and who was taking whose place, and wasn't sure what was going on. So that up in the airedness, is that a word? Left me with nothing really to vlog about, if at all vlogging about things that I should or shouldn't vlog about. In other words, not coming on here and giving someone an evaluation or something like that, and that just wouldn't be the right thing to do. We did go through some guys. Some were good, some weren't so good, and some didn't know. It's a hard thing to explain. Some guys really meant well, and that seemed to be my Andy Reid portion of this vlog. Basically what it comes down to, basically what it comes down to is that we have a couple new guys that are working out really, really well, and they've started in the middle of March, and on monitors now is Guyton, and most people, when they ask him his name, they always say, what? His name's Guyton, and it's spelled right there on the crew site. I didn't put his last name. I think he appreciates that, but his last name makes him sound like a sea urchin. And on lights is Sean, and again, they're working out really well. They've been with the crew now for about 2 months, and they're motivated, fast, quick, a good addition to the crew. Jim has remained on as a gear guy, and basically it's because he basically it's because he knows how to set up the drums, and it's good to have that fourth pair of hands with all the gear that Octane has. At certain shows, it comes in very handy when you're setting up a huge production and you have the extra guy there to push gear, set up gear, and move gear around. So Guyton, and Guyton will introduce himself as Guyton, but I correct him all the time because his name's Guyton, and he also has a short fuse too. Be careful of that. So it's Guyton and Sean and Jim are now the crew. Until further notice. Hopefully, this will be forever. One of the things that happened since the last vlog is Brian Portnick has returned to Northeast Philadelphia on Tuesday nights at the A Lounge, which is on Renard Street in Northeast Philadelphia. Started there April 10th. It's been there every Tuesday since. We have the 12 o'clock shot every night there, Tuesday night at 12 o'clock. We all have a shot, the entire place. And we've invented because Brian likes tequila, we invented the tequila bomb. And so now there's tequila bombs on Tuesdays. Tequila Tuesdays at the A Lounge. Tequila bomb Tuesdays at the A Lounge. I'm doing sound for those shows, much like the old Sunday nights at the Tango. They have a DJ system in there, which is a Mackie powered system, and I plug into that board, and I bring in my walk-in rack that I normally bring in for Octane, and so I have 5 effects running with an acoustic and a vocal channel. And they set the room up with couches around, make it very comfortable, and there's tables, bar there, and it's like $2 bottles or something, and $3 Jaeger bombs. It's a good deal. And if you get there early, you can have food. It's a restaurant, and you should come check it out. Or if you're gonna come out, make sure you tell a friend, and they'll tell 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. Back to some of the things I didn't tell you in the other vlog was when they played the Tin Angel, I recorded both sets of both shows, and they have a acoustic live recording from the Tin Angel, and have been working on that since then as time allows, and just recently completed the second set. Did the second set first, and that is in the hands of them, and they can listen to it and decide which tracks they want to have worked even more. And so I have to get the first set done, and it can be argued that I should be working on that right now instead of doing this, but I feel that this is neglected, and I'm trying to catch up with everything. Again, it's always like tough to keep up with these things that you start or whatever, and you lose track of time, you lose this, you lose that, something else comes up, and then it just piles and piles and piles up, and you have no idea what's going on, you don't know what you're doing, you're spun in a million different directions, and you basically go crazy until you have a nervous breakdown, at which time you have a lot of downtime, and that downtime then results in all this stuff piling up even more. So when you recover from the breakdown, you come back to an utter mess, which is incredibly more difficult to recover from, and then you're just totally depressed, and then you have to go on medication. Well, some people go on medication, other people can't handle it, and what'll happen is you have your Prozac and you have things like that. Hey, do you ever watch TV late at night? You wonder why they advertise the Vitra late at night? The Vitra? Is that the stuff that makes you go to sleep? I don't know. I'm watching Craig Ferguson. I watch him a lot. I like Craig Ferguson. It seems like all the Lunestin. That's it. Levitra's like one of those ED things. Every commercial's ED too. Cialis, Viagra, all that stuff. There's a bunch of guys that can't get it up watching late night TV or something, but it's Lunestin that they're advertising all the time, and they figure you can't sleep or something. It's either that or you get a free Rascal or something. It must be old people stay up all night and watch television, wondering how they can get health insurance, or little Rascals, or what's that one that's round or something, and you can get it free, or I don't know. Then there's all those ads for people looking for work and things like that. It's just late night TV is really crazy on network television. I don't have the cable. Can't afford the cable. But it's all this advertisements for this wacky stuff. If you're up in the middle of the night, you obviously can't sleep, so they want to give you Lunestin. I guess guys that can't get it up are late at night watching television too. That ain't me. I'm just wondering what the commercial. It's not. I've two. It's not me. So. I'm just wondering that. Wow, was that a tangent or what? But you know what? You deserve a tangent. You know why you deserve a tangent? Because it's been 2 months since I did one, and 2 months before that. So it's actually been about 4 months, and I haven't said anything on this thing at all. And now this is just a total rant that went way too long, and has nothing to do with Octane or anything like that. Since the last vlogs, a couple clubs have closed. Park City closed for good. The Big Kahuna closed for good, and there's some other clubs. And in fact, next week we're at the Coliseum, and the Coliseum so far is closed as far as I know. So I don't know if that'll be open by next week or not. Hopefully it will, because otherwise I think next Friday I will be doing nothing. As far as Octane goes, if I am off, I think I know where I will be. I think I will be working my butt off on another project I'm working on. So that's gone down since the last vlog. So you got the Tin Angel show recorded. That's going to be released on a CD. I don't know if I said that, but that will be released on a CD. Those acoustic songs. Those clubs have closed. I told you about Brian Fortnick playing the A Lounge in Northeast Philadelphia again on Tuesday nights. What else do I have here? I did want to mention that there was a weekend that Sean took off. I mean, he had just started and already took a weekend off, and Dave came back and filled in. And it just reminded me of the old Al Pacino, you know, they keep bringing me back in. And so Dave was out there doing lights, and he did them at two fun clubs where he had to set up the whole show and do a lot of work. But it's good to have Dave back for a weekend. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe it'll be like the reserves or something. You know? 1 weekend a month, he'll have to do lights for Octane. That'll be his penance for penance. In the span of since the last couple of vlogs were made, we had a weekend off, so that gave me 2 weeks off. And when I had all this stuff planned to do for those 2 weeks, I ended up upgrading a bunch of computers. I have a ton of computers in here. That's what all this noise is. And I upgraded all of them. They run mostly FreeBSD. So I had all kinds of versions of FreeBSD running here. The 4 version. I had some 4.7 machines, 4.8s, 4.9s, and some 4.11s. And 4.11 would be the latest version. But I upgraded all of them to either the latest 5, which is 5.5, or 6.2. So I know you're very interested in knowing that all the machines are running FreeBSD, the latest versions, and this all came to be because PHP released a new version and it would not compile on the older 4.x machines. So this brought me to an impasse in where I had some problems with those machines, and it took me a while to recover from those certain problems, which I'm kind of skirting on because I'm not telling you, but anyway. Anyway, they're all current and everything now, but I'm just getting reports now that the latest PHP needs to be upgraded as well. So that needs to get done again on all these machines, and what a pain in the ass that's going to be. But actually, it'll be a lot easier because they're all the most current operating system version. Also, in that time, it was daylight savings, and daylight savings, because they changed the date that daylight savings happens on. So that was the other reason that a lot of this stuff had to be upgraded to get the new time zone information in there. And this was not the tangent part, but the boring part, which has to do with what I do. And it's just another one of the things that I do. Finally, that brings us to like the last weekend. We had a fun weekend of staying overnight up in Scranton. We played Tinks on Friday night and we're at the Works on Saturday night, and the Works is in Reading, so it didn't make sense to come home and go out. But it turns out that it probably could have happened that way because Sean drove home by himself, and he made it home by about 5:45 in the morning, and then came out to the Works that night. He probably got a lot better sleep than we did. Because when we went back to the hotel, you just can't go right to sleep, and I was good. I went to sleep, and after a little while, and then we got up that day, and we all went out to the Ground Round and had brunch because it was burgers, and then we all saw Spider-Man 3. And this is not the place to review that movie, but I can tell you that Spider-Man 3 took 3 years to make, and I really think they probably should have taken another year. That's my opinion. Anyway, like I said, I've been busy lately, and I've been doing many things that keep me away from doing the studio stuff and doing the computer stuff. I told you that my father-in-law passed away in January, and that's why I didn't make that one Bubba's show. And what I've been doing the last couple of weeks is spending just about all day over at the house there and cleaning it out, and we've come to find out that he saved just about everything that the family had ever had, and so a lot of that is going out, and it has to be all gone through, and we're not sure exactly what's going to go on with that, but it may be possible that we will pick up the whole family and move there, and if we do that, I see more opportunities to do other things in that home, because it's a bit larger, and I think that I'll be able to have a room where there won't be all these fans going all the time, and I can do more video production as far as this goes, and maybe possibly with some other things. Same as well as with the sound stuff, the studio stuff, the home stuff, and I can set up some things that might work out for me, and I can do some stuff. That's another tangent that doesn't really make sense, but that's what I've been doing. And that's what I've been doing, and it's interesting some of the things that we found in there. I actually found some old newspapers where they were saved because it was major headlines. 1963 was it? Kennedy was shot. They have the front page from that, and also 1969 when a man walked on the moon. That's there too. In fact, one of them is in color. I didn't even know they had color newspapers back then. Interesting to see that stuff. A lot of stuff is very old, doesn't work. You think this stuff is worth money, but thank goodness for eBay, right? Because you can go on eBay and look stuff up that you think may be worth something, and find out that in mint condition it's worth 20 bucks. And when you see it and it's dusty and old and maybe broken, you think, wow, this must be worth something, when it's really not. So unless you have Smithsonian quality stuff, it's just not worth anything. And so we're just emptying everything out, cleaning up, and that's the other thing I have to do here, is clean everything out. I talked to Alex recently. He said there's no way that I would clean out everything, but I've decided that it is time to get rid of these things that I'm hanging on to, because there's no reason to hang on to them. I don't use them, I don't look at them, and I don't think that they hold much sentimental value. I think the memory in my mind is much better than the memory that a material object may hold. Okay, so to recap once again, everything that we covered here is the Teen Angel show was back in February. Dave done in March. New crew finally assembled by the end of March. Guyton, Sean, Jim doing the gear, and Guyton monitors, Sean lights, and Jim doing the gear. And the club's closing. Different things going on with that, and all the other things that I left out that aren't going to make it onto here. Eventually, I think I might start bringing the camera out again and doing some live video, live Octane video, and see how that works out. See how the time comes together for that stuff. Well, okay, that should do it for this. I think I told you on anything. If you have any questions, get in the forums and ask questions. If you go into the forums, there may be some spam in there. Lately, it's been getting spammed, and sometimes you go in there and there's a subject, and there's a bunch of pictures of naked people doing things that naked people do. I don't know if I may or may not eventually get rid of that stuff, or just, I don't know. I might do something. I might switch stuff. I might redesign the site. Whatever. If there's something you might want to see or something like that, please let me know. I need feedback. I go off of feedback. I work off of feedback, and being in my business of doing sound, feedback is the last thing you want, but I'm actually asking for it, so if you give me some feedback, I will act on the feedback. As much a monitor guy would do. So I usually tell you about the next shows that are coming up, but kind of not like doing that with this vlog, so just come out to every show and you won't miss anything. And I'll be there, and they'll be there, and that's about it. Oh, one more thing I do want to cover, and I'll do that and then I'll wrap this up. What I wanted to mention was Brian Chevy. Brian Chevy gets a mention on here every once in a while, and I have to mention Brian Chevy. The reason I have to mention Brian Chevy is the guy is just always out at shows and things, and he's always taking care of us. And he's even going to get a pair of headphones, he tells me, because he likes to listen to the headphones back at the board. He doesn't have to get a pair of headphones. He can just use my headphones, but he's saying he wants to get his own headphones. So possibly there could be a wireless situation headphone thing going on there, so that he can walk around the club with a wireless feed. Can you hear that phone ringing? So, yeah, and the crew, the new crew, was just last time at the Tango, they went back to Chevy's and had their first Brian Chevy experience. And Guyton really liked the burgers. Guyton also was, I don't know, lions and tigers and bears. Something about drinking pee. I don't know. It's just, I stay out of that stuff, basically. So next time at the Tango, which is June 2nd, we'll see what happens. So, be seeing the hizzy, yo. Something in my eye. Well, okay, that's definitely it, because I have to sit down there and I have to edit this stuff and make it ready for a presentation. So that should do it. It's almost 5 o'clock on Friday night, and I have to get out and go to the Route 1 Cafe. So when all is said and done, there's nothing else to say or do, except for what I do. I go late.